The Ukrainian Defense Forces attacked the Lipetsk-2 military airfield, where Russian aircraft used for attacks on Ukraine are based. An explosives plant in the city of Dzerzhinsk, Nizhny Novgorod region, was also attacked. These two military facilities have already been mentioned in reports of strikes by the Ukrainian Defense Forces on military targets in the Russian Federation. As we understand it, they are very important in terms of weakening the aggressor's potential. Indeed, Russia may move most of its aircraft beyond the Urals, fearing both Ukrainian drone strikes and the prospect that Ukraine will be authorized to use Western missiles to destroy military targets in the Russian Federation. But in order to successfully continue the war with Ukraine, Russia will in any case need to keep a fairly large portion of its aircraft at airfields in the European part of Russia. Otherwise, these planes will not be able to be constantly used to bomb Ukrainian territory, participate in the war, and destroy Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. We understand that on the eve of winter, Russian President Vladimir Putin is setting his aviation exactly this task. The cold winter in Ukraine is an important target of Russian aggression in the coming months of the Russian-Ukrainian confrontation. I won't even mention explosives and shells. Russia has the capabilities to produce its own shells, or to buy them, for example, from North Korea. The Russian army is conducting its offensive in the Donetsk region, and Vladimir Putin continues to hope that his army will occupy not only Donetsk, but also other Ukrainian regions in the coming years of the Russian-Ukrainian war, in order to prevent the Russian president and his inner circle from strengthening their confidence that the long-term war of attrition with Ukraine will end with the disappearance of the Ukrainian state from the political map of the world. It is crucial to reduce the military potential of the Russian Federation. Russia is going to use this potential in the coming years of confrontation with Ukraine. That is why the mass production of drones that could be used for systematic attacks on Russian military targets, airfields, factories that operate on the already modernized military-industrial complex of the Russian Federation, oil depots used by the Russian army, that is, the entire infrastructure of war that the Russian Federation has turned into and is turning into before our eyes. The main philosophy now is that Russia's long-standing confrontation with Ukraine and the Western world is a struggle to turn Russia into a new empire, which, as a result of Vladimir Putin's efforts, should become the political leader of Europe. To prevent this from happening and to prevent European countries from looking for opportunities to negotiate with Putin on terms that suit the Kremlin in the future, Ukraine needs permission to use Western missile technology to destroy as much of the enemy's military potential as possible. We are well aware that if the Russian Federation has enough missiles, if Russian planes take off from Russian airfields to bomb Ukraine and destroy infrastructure, and if Russian soldiers have enough weapons to continue the war against Ukraine, no force will force dictator Putin and his people to give up the war in the 20s and maybe even 30s of the 21st century. Russia's military, economic, and demographic potential makes the Russian war doomed to literally go on forever. There is simply no prospect of ending this war. But if Ukraine destroys Russia's military potential, if Russian planes are burning, fuel prices double or even triple, and the social situation in Russia deteriorates, if the war touches every Russian and causes discontent, the military factories of the Russian Federation will be burning and exploding from Ukrainian missiles, and Russia will be completely dependent on the help of its allies, Iran, North Korea, and the People's Republic of China, who will be interested in its victory in the war, but who will not be able to completely replace the entire military potential of Russia, all of which can change the course of the war. The Russian president and his compatriots may have the idea of ending this war when the Russian-Ukrainian war can still end, and Ukraine will remain on the world map. This idea seems absolutely bizarre to everyone who is now close to Vladimir Putin, but this is only because these people, after 2.5 years of a difficult war with Ukraine, continue to feel their complete impunity and the indifference of the population to what is happening on the Russian-Ukrainian front. Whatever we say, the majority of citizens of the Russian Federation have not been affected by the war. On the contrary, it has created unprecedented financial opportunities for them. Moscow, which has always been the main factor in the continuation of hostilities, does not pay attention to the mood in the provinces. Thus, the strike on the airfield in Lipetsk and the destruction of the military plant in Dzerzhinsk is another reminder of how important it is for Ukraine's defense forces to destroy Russian military capabilities. It is also a reminder to Ukraine's allies: without the use of missile arsenals, there is no hope for negotiations with Russia. Thank you, friends. Stay on this channel, subscribe to it. This video was prepared by Hustler. I wish you victory and peace. Good luck.